Good morning, everybody. And so we say goodbye to summer and usher in the fall and September, and we open up with some nice volatility. It's going to be an interesting month, to say the least. Um, we got caution flags on the market last night for our all of our members. All of our members. By the way, we have been trading this program all night long. And we did videotape it. All right. So I don't want anybody thinking, oh, I think he's playing a game with me. No, we wouldn't do that. We're not trying to prove an outcome, anyways. We're not. We're just trying to show what a program trader, a program trade looks like, right? And that's what's going on here. Last night, when we ended our live session, our account, we started on Sunday night. No, I keep saying Sunday night. It was Monday. Yeah, it was Sunday night, actually. It was Sunday because the futures were open. Yeah, it was Sunday at 30,000. Last night, we got as high as like 30,600 and then we drew back, right? And last night, we were down about $800, I think, if I remember correctly. And then she traded all night long and she's doing her thing. Now, so, we have a decision to make. Now, I'm going to make a decision for us, and that is we're going to keep rolling it. Um, but you could, right? It is only, the first day, you could just turn it off and realize your $1,700 for the week and go do something else. Yeah, absolutely could do that, right? And so when you start and when you finish on a given week or a given trading session is important. It's also important for your quality of life, right? We're really, I mean, Bagger loves this, right? I love doing this, right? So, um, but you don't have to do it, as frequently, right? So we're gonna let you watch, and we definitely have some action. Now we really have some action on gold and silver, right? Now we've been talking gold and silver. We have a lot of folks that are in gold and silver, and they are just enjoying it. As it runs up against resistance, well, it's going to be breaking into new high ground, but you can sell calls against it. But I wouldn't. Um, how do I put this? Well, we'll come back and take a look when we have more folks at specifically gold and silver, but I wouldn't be too eager to be shorting it. I might, if you're not in gold or silver, you might not want to chase it now. Up here, you might want to wait for a pullback, and/or what you might want to consider doing is going down where you would like to buy it, like, the ETF. If you were using the ETF Silver SLV, I don't know where it's trading right now, if it's at 41 or not. It could be. But, maybe go downstream, a few points and sell some put credit spreads and participate that way and define your risk and all that good stuff. So, any case, we'll let you watch. I like what this program is doing, though. I like it a lot right now, and we hope you're getting it done. Any questions? Let us know. We'll let you watch. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bagadon. This is Stock Market Caddy. It is Tuesday, September 2nd. I had to think about it for a minute, and with the fall is kicking into gear, and we have movement. We absolutely have movement, and not just at this very minute. I'm not addressing that, but our members got a warning from our systems last night, and it was building, but they got a hard warning, and we'll see what triggers tonight if it follows up over the next 1 or 2 nights. What do we see happening is let's show you. First thing is silver and gold are really, I mean, they've been running. We've been on it. Members have been on it. We've been talking about it for some time, and it's really making a statement. Silver is probably I'm not saying it's going to happen today, but on our way to 50, if not higher. We're seeing a breakdown on the dollar. The interest rate structure is now becoming a little bit problematic. Long-term rates are shooting up. Short-term rates are coming down. He's going to want to cut in September, and they could lose control of the rate complex. But let's just go and give you a couple of peaks here. Let's go to the VIX models. So you can see this is Swing Machine looking at the VIX, and it's flashing right here. Risk on caution, right? But we had it, the caution light. And so when our members not really surprised with what's happening here today. The skew is, as we've been up here. Here's the gap down this morning on the S&P. This is the S&P, probably headed to this area here, and could we be at 6,200 by the end of the week? We could be there by the end of the day, and we got gaps down here. We got a gap down here at around, well, I'll tell you exactly the top of the gap. It is that high, 6,028. And so that gap, there's a gap there, there's a gap down here, there's even a gap lower. Now, I'm not saying it's these gaps lower are going to get filled this week, but I got to tell you, markets melt up and then, they crash out. Nobody's waiting. And where's the problem? Let's go to the yield curve. This is the problem. The yields now are starting to rise here on this is the 30-year yield. We're up almost 41 basis points. Very, very steep. And I think that's going to be a little problematic, but we'll see. And let's go over. Bear with me. We'll even give you a glimpse this morning of what is racing up and or down. So let's go to the retail trader. This is our retail trader watch list. So if you're looking for the stuff that's moving, it's Hess. Big move today. Not sure what that is. I take it back now. There's no volume on that, so I'm not sure what that is all about. Hess. That may be a bad symbol. So it appears that it gapped up. It's not showing any volume, so suspect on that. But Autodesk has been doing pretty well. Humana, APA. So some of the oil services. But these are the stocks trying to pull the market higher. Not that many. And these are the stocks pulling the market down. And let's take a look. We got Etsy gapping down. Looking for some big ones in here. Here's Nvidia. So Nvidia, Nvidia led this market up, right? And now she's down around 170, and really coming out. Oracle. So the tech stocks are really AMAT. Some of the chips are really weighing on this market. Let's keep rolling over. Let's see here. And we'll go back to our intraday. This is the, I don't have my Renko view here. I'd like to have it. We'll get that up a little bit later. Intraday. Yeah, here we are here. So we're back to our auto trader, and we're trading 5 micros, letting this baby just work her little tail off. We're off of our high water mark, we're off of our low water mark, and she's running. I haven't done any scalping. I could be. I'm just choosing not to work that hard. And and when you're doing this sort of thing, I do want you to know, right? I mean, you could, right? You could just say, hey, you know something, honey, partner, I allocated 30,000 to trade this auto trader. I'm 1 day and a half in. I'm up $600-700. I'm up $1,500, whatever it is. You know what? I'm going to shut it off. I'm just going to shut it off. If it's off, there's no risk. You're not going to make any money, but you have no risk. And then you go do something else, whatever that something else is. I mean, that's up to each person. And then the next week you do it again. And maybe it's in the first day, maybe it's in the third day, the fourth day. And what are you looking for? You're looking for an opportunity to de-risk, to shut down, and to be able to go do something else, right? But I'm a little more aggressive. I have multiple markets, multiple screens. I have multiple positions, and on this YouTube vision here, or view, not really vision, but a view, I'm trying to pique your curiosity so that you can at least see a little bit more, right? If I just parked it, you'd be, okay, So that's why we're doing what we're doing. And we're just trading five micros. In the off hours, that's about $15,000. In the intraday hours, it's a fraction of that, just a fraction. So it's very, in my view, very responsible use of margin. We're not, balls to the wall with margin. So we'll let you watch. If you've got any questions, let us know. Let me give you a glimpse, if you haven't seen this, where gold and silver are getting a lot of attention. Let's go to Swing Machine and let's change this. Let me do this here to a 60-minute. So 160 hours ago at 11 a.m. on 8/22, there was a signal to get long gold. Now, if you did it with a mini contract, you're up $15,000. If you did it with options, you may be up a lot more than that. You might be. Let's go look at silver on the hour. 88 hours ago, $11,000. Now, if a member might say, well, how come you didn't send me an alert? Well, because you see the signals at night for position trades, but as an annual member, you have these tools to build your own alerts, right? There's dozens and dozens, hundreds of pockets, right? And you get to choose what you want to trade. Let's put this on a daily. So it was 7 days ago, this 14 grand. So it kind of the gold trade was really moving on the hourly and the daily about a week ago. Big money to have made. Now on a daily, look where it is. It's in Euphoria. That's not a good place. It's a good place to be if you're already long, and there's no reason to come out. You don't have to say Euphoria, I'm getting out. You could take out your original investment maybe and let it run, but it's just not a good place to initiate a long, right? Initiate. Entries matter. Let's go to the daily here, and there you go. 72 days ago, not even 3 months ago, $34,000, one measly silver contract, 34 grand. I'm Bagger Don. This is StockMarketCaddy.com. We are mentoring folks that want to learn to trade their own game. Not mine, not Susan's, not someone else's, but your own. It's up to you. And let's put this back. We'll let you watch here. There we go. So we'll pull back off of our highs. We're okay, and we'll keep you posted. Thanks. For purposes of YouTube, though, we came up a little bit earlier. Do want you to know when it gets to be about 1 o'clock, we will probably, most likely, need the resources, and YouTube will have to come down. We thank you for the like buttons. We thank you for the retweets, and the more people discover us, doing the YouTube, probably the more apt we are to do it because it does take time and resources. But we'll be nearby. We're working. We're getting done what we need to get done. We hope you are too. We're big believers. And by the way, did you see the 11 keys to success by Trump today? Beautiful. I mean, really. I mean, I love the guy in some respects. Some things I don't like, but I think that's with everybody. But you got to see it. And he says, you got to love what you do, right? I mean, you're going to do better at it, right? If trading is a source of frustration, a source of anger, a source of dissatisfaction, don't do it. Don't do it. Do something else. I think I'm a big believer in whatever it is you're doing. That if you have the means to get there, you know, try to do something you really really enjoy, right? Because you'll do better at it. You will. Have fun. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And we continue to run the program. I haven't done any intervention, right? We're off of our high water mark. We're off of our low water mark. We've been running 5 micros since really since Sunday night. And let me see if I can give you some specific data. Um, I can give you, so bear with me. I'll do that right now. Um, I like what it's doing. I do. Let me go. Yeah, yeah. It looks really nice, nice trades. Um, Plenty of room to scalp on this, but I'm choosing not to. Um, Let me run this. So this is for today. No, that's not correct. I don't think so. Well, that is weird. Is that? Hmm. Why is that? Um. Hmm, that may be. Bear with me. Hmm. That is not correct. Kind of weird. I don't like seeing that. I don't believe that's correct. Yeah, so I'm not going to give you those numbers. I don't know why it doesn't, unless it's mixing in some other numbers. I may have to carve out some other markets. So, but in round numbers, we started with a beginning balance at 30,000 on Sunday night, and so you can see where the account is at 38. We're only trading 5 micros. In the off hours, that would represent about $15,000 in margin, which would only be half of the account. During the normal session hours, it's a fraction of that. So we consider it modest margin, responsible margin, trading in proportion to our account size. All the trades, that you're seeing going in. Now, Swing Machine is doing its thing. We're not trading Swing Machine. You can see what Swing Machine is doing with gold and silver too. By the way, it's just phenomenal. But we like to keep Swing Machine up on the key markets, and at the moment, this is what we've been watching, and we do these YouTube sessions to inspire you, not to annoy you, and encourage you to take a peek at Stock Market Caddy. And if what we're doing is of interest to you, um, feel free to give us a shout. Enjoy. We'll let you watch. By the way, this is kind of funny. Um, we, like millions of others, played the Powerball. The Powerball. And so I had to run to the store late last night to pick up a few things for Susie and us. And I decided, I had 4 extra bucks or something, and I said, I'll throw it. Give me 2 Powerball tickets, just wild numbers, right? And I get the tickets back, and I say to the lady, I'm like, what kind of luck is that? I get the same damn Powerball number. I mean, like what are the odds of that? And what was the Powerball number that I got? The 2 tickets, 5. What was the Powerball number? 5. Of course, I didn't win. I mean, I won $4, I think, on the thing, but and we only played when it gets up over a couple hundred million. We usually play like 5 tickets or something, 4 or 5 tickets, and um, we did have 3. We had on another one, so we actually had we had the 5 like on three tickets, and we had three of the 6 numbers. So I think that ticket paid like $7. $7. Kind of ridiculous, right? Um, what 1.3 now? Where's it going? Like 1.5 billion. You know the thing of it is, and Susan said, "No, you wouldn't. If we did, I still would be trading. I absolutely would. I absolutely would." She goes, "No, you wouldn't be." I'm like, "Yes, I would. I would still be trading. I'll always be trading. Um, it's not the money." So I hope you're out there wherever you be. Somebody's got to win the damn thing, right? So, any questions, folks? Let us know. Not about the Powerball. So you would think I would miss this on a number. Susan just informs me we had three numbers and the Powerball. Yeah, we had three of them, and and we had a four instead of the eight, and the other two were fairly close too. Um, yeah. So we had 43. So we had an eight. No, we had a four instead of the eight. And we had a 43 instead of 53. And then the other one was, yeah, we were off on that one. But so we win $7 versus 1.3 billion. But I guess nobody did it. So kids, if you're out there, man, um, you know, $2, you got. And by the way, that was a wild pick. That was like, we picked a few, numbers, that have some meaning, and of course none of that crap comes in. I pick a wild pick, and we get three. There's only one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, there's only six of them. We got half of them, and the Powerball. Kind of crazy, right? But nobody hit it. Nobody hit it. So I guess it's Wednesday. It's I think about 1.5 billion. Um, that. But I'm still trading. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. No, I'll just be trading a few more contracts though. Just a few. Just a few. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Oh my goodness. That would be so much fun. Um, Money. It's just your scorecard. That's all it is. It's just a scorecard. It's a way of tracking and a scored, right? We trading we use profit factor, but money is just a byproduct, right? Just a byproduct. That's all it is. Let's take a look at Swing Machine. The 5 minute VIX. The 5 minute VIX goes long at 3:15 in the morning. Now, I want you to know, okay, could you program Swing Machine to go long or go short on the basis of what the VIX is doing on whatever interval you want, but we'll say the 5 minute? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. Yeah. So while you were in deep sleep at 3:15 in the morning, the VIX would have gone long. Now look at the ES at 5 minute. At 3:15 in the morning, the ES goes short, and it's still short. Now, if you had put on a mini contract, yeah, you're going to be using full margin at that full margin, which is around, it's a big number. It's 18, 19 grand, I think thereabouts. But don't hold me to that. But the micros would have been less, but you would be up $3,400 on one of them. You had 10 of them. Some people, you'd have 34 grand. The NQ goes short at what time? That was only at 10:50. We were live on that one, so that's what that one is doing right here. So we've had a few trades go off, and then of course the gold trade is at 9:50 this morning. This 2,400. Be aware though. With gold can do this day after day after day. I have seen runs on gold that would make Bitcoin blush. It can do. Don't be thinking, oh, it's up 60, it's coming back tomorrow. No, it can do 50 or 60 point day after day after day. When it made a run from 1,500 to 2,000 the first time, it just did it like in a straight shot. It was like 50, 60 points, boom, 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 boom. And silver can get really going too. And if anybody is short the metal in a big way, if any hedge funds are in there short, and the COMEX and those traders begin to realize, hey, they don't really have the metal, they're just short on paper, they'll squeeze the hell out of them. So, be careful, or be aware. Not be careful, but be aware, right? Situational awareness. We probably don't talk about that enough. I think it's important in everything we do, to be situationally aware, right? They talk about I'm not a martial arts person. I'm not, but I like to listen to some of those people, and they talk about it all the time. Anticipating the next step, either their next step or someone else's next step, and they want to have a situational awareness. That's why we keep Swing Machine up, right? I may not be trading it at this very moment, but I've been looking at it so many hours. It's crazy, and it's just like I can, how you pull up Klystron 9. You have a Klystron 9. You pull up the weather report, and you can see the storms coming. Whether to go play golf or not, or take the dog to the dog park. Um, Swing Machine to us is like is that it's a market radar, and it shows us what we need to see. So when I see that the program, by the way, is currently short 5 micros, and I see Swing Machine selling down, I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful thing, right? Now, but I could, we could get in there and try to carve it up a little bit, but I'm gonna let it run. And but having that situational awareness, very important. Just is. That's why we also suggest if you are an active trader, an intraday active trader, we put up the markets we do here because this is where the most interest is. The S&P, the VIX, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, silver, oil, and Bitcoin. I'm not saying that those would be necessarily the markets that you want to have trading. We think you should have 5 to 7 go-to markets. Not that you trade them every single day, not that you trade them every week, but you are, they're like slippers to you. You're extremely comfortable if you get into any one of those markets. You don't want to be, oh, I think I'm going to trade platinum today. you know, you want to be really comfortable with the markets that you have, that you choose, and keep eyes on them. You probably don't want to have, you could have some other radars too, just to see what they're doing, but you probably don't want to be trading like all 4 indices. You want to have a little more diversification than that. So like Susan likes to trade soybean meal. She likes to trade coffee. There are other markets, and they have a tendency more to trend. Nat gas, copper, that sort of thing. Make sense? Alrighty. So we're going to let you watch, and just to forewarn, at about 1 p.m. we'll probably need to bring the YouTube down unless something dramatic changes here. But and we're some 10 hours, almost 11 hours of video on this program. So when we finish today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture the 11 hours. We're not going to upload 11 hours. No one's going to watch 11 hours of machine trading. But what we'll do is, to maximize your time, we will compress it. We will compress it down to like, 2 minutes so that folks can see. We're not trying to prove anything, right? We're not trying to say that that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Or we might do better. We're just trying to show you what's possible. That's all. That's all. That's all we can do, right? And I hope you're getting it done with whatever it is you're doing. If you do, we're the first ones to say congratulations. Keep doing it. Rinse, repeat, rinse. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Keep your margin levels grounded. Keep your emotions grounded. Stay businesslike, and don't get carried away with yourself or with the program, and just just go do it. um, and if you're not getting it done, stop. Even it's kind of interesting. Trump just put out 11 keys to success. If you haven't seen it, and one of the I was interested, and I like all of them, and one of them was, if you lose momentum in what you're doing, stop. You just got to stop. Why would you keep if you're doing something and momentum, whatever it is you're doing, is working against you, doesn't it make sense to stop? You just stop. And then you splash some water on your face, and you think about what you've done. You think about what you're doing. Maybe take a few days, maybe take a few weeks, maybe take a few months, maybe take a few years, whatever it is you got to do, and and think about it, and talk to people that are doing whatever it is you want to do, and read what you can, and go go to those people. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be trading, right? It can be anything. It can be, a career direction. It could be real estate. It could be anything. Um, and and listen. Trust me, I do listen. I absolutely do. Learn a lot from our members. I absolutely do. I am the most ignorant person in these markets today. How many people online will tell you that? I am. I have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. I like to think that I might, but I am the most ignorant person here. I'll arm wrestle you for that right, because I don't want to have a built-in bias. I'm not trying to prove anything to myself or anything. You know. So, all right. We wish you the best. We're gonna let you watch. Look at Swing, just doing her thing. Also, too, if you haven't heard Trump's 11 things, go listen to them. I'm talking about listening. One of the things he says: be careful what you say to yourself. We say that all the time. Be careful. Be careful. You know, the mind is a very, very powerful thing. And if you are telling yourself, like in trading, and I have had folks say this, not many, but some. Don, I always lose. I always lose, Don. I always lose. And I'm thinking, oh man. And I will point it out to them, but they don't believe it. And they want to believe that they always lose. And guess what they do? They lose. They lose. It's the damnedest thing. It is the damnedest thing. And they'll say things like, well, when I trade with you, I don't lose. But when I'm by myself, I lose. Um, so be very, it isn't enough to say I'm going to win. It isn't. I know that. I know, I'm not being Pollyannish on this, but you can't. You got to be very, very careful how you speak to yourself and how you think about things. I don't care what it is you're doing, whatever it is you're doing. Be very, very careful about that. Be very situational. Just be aware, right? And you can. I'm telling you, everyone has it in them. Whatever it is you're doing, you can change your destiny. You absolutely can do it. You can. It's within your grasp. He also says in one of his things, I should play it maybe. I don't. I don't want to run into a copyright issue, but he says, you're never too young. I had somebody say that to me, and I've told that story. I had a broker say that to me. Don, you're too young. It didn't sit well with me. I didn't fire him quick enough. You are never too young. But also, Trump doesn't say this, and I can understand why he wouldn't. But you're never too old either. You're not. So you're not too young. You're not too old. You're not too busy. You're not. You're not. Um, People do what people want to do. So I know folks, and I've never done it. It sounds like it's a lot of fun. I think maybe they make a little bit of mad money, but I understand, the principles behind a little bit. Again, I've never done it. Maybe you guys have, but I'm not knocking it. And that is fantasy football. The boys get together and drink a bunch of beers, and play draft and play, team owner and whatever, and pick the coach, pick this, pick that, and they make a little bit of mad money at the end of the season. Gives them a reason to sit on the couch and watch these games. If that's you, hey, hallelujah, have at it, have at it. Have fun, do it. I hope you win. I hope if that's your thing. But don't turn around and tell me, oh, but I can't do this. I don't have the time, Don. I don't have the time to do all that trading. Okay. Have fun, everybody. We'll be here. Let us know. Yeah, on paper, I think this is the closest we've ever come to a big lottery payout, and especially with a big. So this is what. Maybe I shouldn't say the numbers. I better not, because I think Sue's going to play it again. I better not. But it was damn close. It was damn close. I tell you what. I mean, it was crazy close, without question, the closest. So we had three of them, but the other three are like within 1 or 2 digits. That's nuts. Of course, it's not really that close, right? We all know that. But you know, Good afternoon, everyone. And so we're getting a little bit of a midday bounce here. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to click off the program, and we'll bank what we have, and I won't turn it on overnight, right? I won't turn it on the rest of the day. And when we try to punch up again, I'll try to turn it on at that time, and so that folks get a chance to see a little. That's what we're trying to do, is try to get um, a program where you can see, all these trades are going in, by a machine, right? They're going in and going out. They're not staring at a moving average and a stochastic doing this and a moving average doing that and a candle doing this and that doing that, and that sort of thing. um, you know, it's modest, yes, yes, but trading, if you're trading in proportion, it's going to be it should, I hope, going to be modest, right? I mean, you can go after, bigger hits and you'll get positive outliers. Um, but what we'll probably do is we'll probably let this go to 1 o'clock or so, and then we'll turn down. But it's being able to do something, repetitive. It may not be every single day that you pick up 1500, um, but hopefully over the course of weeks and months, you it begins to accumulate like a snowbank or something. That's all. So if you got any questions about who we are, what we're about, if you want me to plug in any of your markets, any ETF into Swing Machine, um, these are tools to help you. They're models. Like right now, I hate to say it, like this time of the year, we're we pay more attention to the meteorologists than normal, right? Because of where we are in Florida, right? We want to be prepared. So they're monitoring. There's a guy who's actually called, I think, Mr. Weatherman or something, but and they're looking at a storm that's coming off the African coast now, right? And he's got the American model, the Canadian model, the European. There's like four different models, and he's thought they're monitoring, what that is showing, which hopefully isn't going to be anything, right? But it's like a week, right? These programs to us are models. That's what they are, but they can change, right? They can change dramatically, right? And even he's saying, look, the models are saying that the conditions are ripe for it to develop into a hurricane, but it isn't a hurricane yet. But the conditions are ripe, and it might do this and it might do that. Our models, our trading models, that's what they are. They're just models, and we're trying to weave our money, our margined money, our leverage money in, and leave and ease it out, right? We just don't want to get broadsided, And so that's one of the first things that we're teaching folks is how not to have a negative outlier. None, zero, none, zip, nada, none. And we can do that with technology. So once you can take the negative outlier out, now it's a question of, okay, now how am I gonna proceed, and how does this fit into my life? Excuse me. Any questions? Let us know, and we'll let you watch. Okay, the machine took that trade, right? I was eyeing it. I was like, yeah, I might want to take that. So, but the machine took it, and the machine just put us long 5 micros. Looks pretty good too. Looks like it wants to come up. Swing machine looks like a little rip against it. I'm inclined to take the profit on this and call it a day for the program. If I do, I'll let you know. And I chose to do just that. I turned the program off. So there'll be no more trades going in. I'll try to preserve this program for when we come back up on YouTube. Probably during normal session hours. So we're using minimum. But it looks like this wants to bounce, but that's okay. Again, starting with a beginning balance of 30,000. It is Tuesday at midday. Um, we're more interested in the profit factor, which we've got to go through some calculations on that. But having a net of 1,300 is just fine. Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. But we'll try to add to it and hold ground, right? We want to be able to hold ground, but I'm not gonna let it over trade. I'm Bagadon. This is Stock Market Caddy. Let us know if you have any questions, and I'll be able to tell you. It looks like I took that off a little bit soon too, right? She's coming back up. Probably a nice big fat one coming back, but that's okay. We never get it all, right? We never do. Um, we're playing for the middle. Now, we came out of that trade, and but I can still see the machine trading in my trade manager. And of course, let's see here. Let me make sure I have it right. Correct. Wait 1 minute. Wait 1 minute. I may not. Let's make sure I have it right. Bear with me. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I do. And so let me go here. It's HFT2. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so that position that I came out of, it would be up about $90. 75, 80, $90. That's all it's doing. But I can continue to see it. I'll have visibility on it. And I'll watch what it does for the rest of the day and can determine, and I'll take a peek at it. But she's not going into the account, right? She's done. Um, and again, we'll try to activate it tomorrow. Sometime see if we can add a little bit more to it. Now we want to be careful about not extrapolating out too far, right? So you've got to, when you get started, you just got to stay grounded, stay in the moment, execute, execute, execute. That's what we got to do. Some days are going to be better. Some days, it's what's going to be. But just in perspective here, right? We just pick up this week. This week we're at $1,300, right? We can take the rest of the week off, if one wanted to do that. You put together 50 weeks, that's what, and you take a couple weeks off of vacation, hopefully. But, it's 50 grand, what about 55, 60 grand, somewhere around there. Um, that's one market. That's just one. Remember, we said you want to have 5 to 7 that you can actively trade. So now you can begin to see, like, if you get a program that you get really, really comfortable with, and that program, and you're comfortable with the leverage, and you're comfortable, you're extremely, they're like slippers, very comfortable. And that market, and that program, and you are working hand in glove, glove in hand, back and forth, and that's generating 50 grand. And then you have another market, and that one's generating whatever, right? And you have a third one, you have a fourth one, right? Maybe it's soybeans, soybean meal. Maybe it's coffee. Maybe it's gold. Maybe it's silver, right? But don't focus on, the top of the mountain or the bottom of the mountain. You've got to make turns, right? Like, just like, a skier. You don't want to get to the top of the mountain and be looking down at the ski house. They used to call that the ski shop. And you're like, holy, and God knows I did it, right? I tell the story. One time I got over my skis and I went up with a buddy, and he brought me way, I think we were at Sun Valley, way up at the top. Like, holy crap, we were above the tree line. And it was so steep when we got off this, out of the, was a chairlift actually. You had to take a couple of them to get there. And we got way up at the top, and we had to ski across this little narrow. It was narrow, guys. I mean, it was like a cross country, thing at the very, very top, and it was like a precipice, and we're at the top. And that I had never done. Like, usually you come off the gondola, come off the ski chair, and your skis are flat on the ground. But when I put my skis out, there was like nothing under them. I mean, like the first you know couple of feet, right? It was that steep because the ground just gave way, right? And it kind of freaked me out. And then I started looking down at the clubhouse there, the ski shop, and it looked like it was tiny. I'm like, we got to go down there, and I was freaked out. And this guy was a much better skier than me, big guy, big skis, and he goes, "Okay, Don, time to go." Okay, I was probably in my 20s. I was probably, yeah, my mid 20s, and I went off. I didn't get very far, and I fell, and I slid down, a good distance, and I was kind of shook up. And like, oh man, how am I going to get down this mountain now? Am I going to be walking down? And He comes skiing down beside me, and he's like, Don. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. I was kind of shook up. He's like, Don, you know how to ski, right? Yeah, but I was not very confident, where I was going with this. I was like, Don, you know how to ski. You know how to make turns. Forget about the bottom of the hill. Forget about where we are. Just make turns and have a good time. I'm like, okay. And that's what I did. And it was fine. And I skied down the mountain. Don't look at the bottom of the mountain. Don't look at the top of the mountain. Don't put all those burdens on you. This thing is hard enough. Okay? It's hard enough. It will come. It will happen. But you got to clear your head of all that chatter, all that crap. Trust me, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not. I'm not. You know, it just, and when you get there, it's a much better way to ski. It's a much better way to play golf. It's a much better way to trade. It's really quiet. And I don't want to add to your noise, right? But I do understand the psychological challenge, and all I can do is describe where you're trying to go. And we can, when we're together with you in Q School, we can share some tips and some mechanical and some computer insights and some tools to get you there. But in the end, that dude couldn't ski down the mountain for me, right? I had to get my I didn't go back up there too, by the way. I'll be honest. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I think I'll stay in the tree line. I didn't do that. It was We were up there. Have fun, everybody. The program has now been turned off. We'll keep this up until about 1 o'clock, and then we need the resources, so we're going to wish you the best there. I'll try to come in and say goodbye right at 1. Now, as you would have thought, right? I did end it, right? And but you can continue to track, right, when you're doing this. And let's just go. That trade is still on. The long trade is still on. And how much would that trade be up? $330. But we got all day tomorrow. What are we gonna do tomorrow? Okay, we can't get it all today. So we got to leave some for the other guy. But that's how much would be up additionally, right? So we'd be up 1600, right? So you get yourself in a mindset. You've got to get yourself to a place where this is fun and enjoyable, and you do, you live in life, you're doing your thing, and then you're doing some trading, and you're playing some golf, and you're enjoying your kids, and you're enjoying your life. Um, and maybe you got another little gig that you're doing too, right? Um, Beautiful thing, beautiful setup. A bag of dawn. This is Stock Market Caddy. It is now 12:44 at 1 p.m. This broadcast coming to an end. I don't know where everyone is, but I'm not on CNBC. We're not on CNBC. We don't have thousands and thousands of members. We're at our most robust level, and we've been around since 2012, 2013. Really, when we first started. Been doing this a lot longer before that, right? But Stock Market Caddy didn't come out of the ground until 2012, 2013, and we are in fact at our most robust level, and it's a beautiful thing. I don't know how anybody finds us because we don't really advertise to speak of. We do this, that's the extent, and that's just fine. It's always going. It was never going to be thousands. It's not. We're not set up for it, and I'm not interested in it, quite frankly, and we're just not. But and that's totally fine. Look at gold, will you? Up $75. Now you may be thinking, oh, I can't do that tomorrow. Oh yes, it can. Oh yes, it can. Yep, we could be, and by the end of the week, gold could be at 4,500. Possible. I've seen gold do this, and everyone who's bought gold is now, all the resistance has totally been cleared out. It could really sail. Silver's got some stumbling grounds around $50. It's a long way between here and there. There's a lot of money in that. Um, and then once she clears 50, there is a gold silver ratio of 20. Usually, it's 20. That would put silver, if gold remains where it is, silver should be trading at about $120 historically. So it's got a long ways to go if that's going to be the case. What's the Fed to do? Does the Fed cut? Cut 50 basis points and ignite inflation again? Does the Fed hold pat and trash the market? They were always, they're in a cul-de-sac. The Federal Reserve has flown their plane, this market, this economy, into a, what do they call it? What happens when you fly a plane into a gap of a mountain, right? There's a name for it. I'm not a pilot, but it's kind of like a cul-de-sac, but can't think of the name. But what happens is they can't get a box canyon. They don't have enough room to turn around, and they don't have anything left to bring it over the top. They fly themselves in. When they take off from the valley, oh, no problem. Yeah, we're great. We're flying. Oh, this is fun. Look out this window. Look out that window. I'm like, uh-oh, we don't have enough room to turn around. We don't have enough oomph to get over the mountains in front of us. Only one thing to do: crash. And that's what they've done. It's their own making. We'll watch and we'll profit. Financial Box Canyon monetary Box Canyon. Okay, everyone. We got a little midday bounce. I don't think it's going to amount to much, and the program is done for now. For now, we'll try to turn it on tomorrow. We have Q schools going on around this, right? So this we're moving into very busy time of the year for everybody, right? This is when the trading really resumes, and we get into the fall, we get into the winter season. So the summertime stuff is probably over, hopefully, and we get some nice volatility. When we punch up again next, we will be. I won't trade this at all unless we're on YouTube, so you get a chance to see it. And what we might do is be very brief. It may only trade for 40 or 45 minutes or an hour, and we just tack on, tack on, tack on, and we'll see where we be. That might be an idea. In the meantime, we're going to, behind the scenes, though, even though it's not going into the account, we're still going to track the performance of the strategy because that may not be the best thing to do, right? Maybe we should be, right? This is a strategy that has been in our library for quite some time. We're, this is what's so crazy. I'm running something that, even though it's been in my library, our library for a long time, I haven't run it in this format before. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, and we wish everyone the best. Let us know if we can help you, and have fun.